Mars colonization, fact or fiction, new discoveries. Imagine humanity leaving Earth behind. Mars, our new home. But what if this leap into the future is closer than you think? We've always looked to the stars. Since ancient times, we've gazed at the red planet, Mars, seeing more than just a point of light. It symbolized something bigger, the unknown, the mysterious, a dream. Millennia ago, Mars was the god of war, a harbinger of change. Its crimson glow captivated, frightened, and allured. But what if this ancient pull isn't just mythology? What if it's instinct? A survival instinct whispering about a new home when the old one becomes too small. Remember reading sci-fi as kids? Spaceships, colonies on distant planets. Mars was always front and center. The closest, most Earth-like, yet so alien. This duality always fueled our curiosity. It seemed unattainable, yet beckoned with possibility. Now, we're not just dreaming, we're doing. The 1960s saw the first probe sent to Mars, a true breakthrough. Mariner 4 showed us a desolate, cratered world, cold, lifeless. But even then, amidst the disappointment, a new hope sparked. It was just the beginning. We saw its surface instead of just guessing. It was the first step in unlocking its secrets. Every new discovery, every image, every data point only amplified the call. We found traces of ancient rivers, hints of water that once flowed across its surface, and that changed everything. Mars stopped being a lifeless rock. It became a potential second home. But why Mars? Why not Venus, with its hellish pressure, or Jupiter's moons locked under miles of ice? Mars is our golden ticket, a planet that could still be habitable, close enough to reach, similar enough to imagine living there. So, what drives us to the red planet? It's not just science, not just ambition. It's humanity's deep-seated desire to push boundaries, to never settle, to seek new horizons. It's our chance to not just survive, but thrive, to become a truly interplanetary species. But is Mars ready for us? And are we ready for what awaits? Did you know Mars isn't just a cold desert? It's a planet actively trying to kill you. Ready to learn why every breath there could be your last? Take a deep breath on Mars. Nothing. Your lungs constrict. Your eyes bulge. In seconds, you lose consciousness. The Martian atmosphere isn't just thin air. It's a toxic cocktail of carbon dioxide with almost no oxygen. The pressure is so low, your blood would boil in your veins. You wouldn't suffocate, you'd die from decompression. But that's just the start. Suppose you have a spacesuit. Great! Now brace for the cold. Average temperature on Mars? -63 degrees Celsius, -81 degrees Fahrenheit. At night, it can plummet to -140 degrees, -220 degrees Fahrenheit. This isn't just chilly. Steel becomes brittle. Electronics fail. Muscles freeze up. Blood turns to ice if your suit is breached. Every step is a fight against the biting cold, trying to reach every cell in your body. And there's more. Mars has no shield. Earth has a powerful magnetic field, protecting us from deadly cosmic radiation. Mars doesn't. Solar flares, cosmic rays, they bombard the surface relentlessly. Imagine standing there. Every second, particles bombard your cells, causing mutations, cancer, brain damage. It's an invisible killer, working slowly but surely. How long would you last under that assault? And what about the weather? Forget rain or snow. Mars has dust storms. They can last for months, shrouding the entire planet in an orange haze. The wind isn't as strong as on Earth, but the dust, it's ubiquitous. Microscopic particles of iron oxide seep into every crevice, clog mechanisms, scratch suits, settle in your lungs if filtration fails. These storms can completely block sunlight, cutting power to solar panels and plunging the colony into darkness and cold. Mars isn't just wilderness. It's a death trap where every element tries to destroy all life. It doesn't forgive mistakes, not one. Every day on this planet is a battle for survival, a battle against the cold, the radiation, the poisonous air, and the relentless storms. It's not just a test, it's a near impossible challenge. But we don't just dream about Mars for nothing, do we? This changes everything. What seemed crazy yesterday is now our chance on Mars. Science has found ways to turn a deadly planet into a potential home. We just talked about Mars as a ruthless killer. Cold, radiation, poisonous air. Mission impossible. Suicide mission, it seems. But science never stands still. What was once pure science fiction is now turning into real, mind-blowing breakthroughs, changing the game. Let's start with the most important thing: water. Remember when we thought Mars was a dry, lifeless desert? Turns out, not so much. Beneath the surface of the red planet lie vast reserves of water ice, tens, maybe hundreds of billions of tons. It's not just ice, it's a resource we can mine, melt, and turn into drinking water for colonists. Or more importantly, break down into hydrogen and oxygen, rocket fuel. Water is key not only to surviving on Mars, but also to returning home and even traveling further into space. This flips the entire logistics on its head. Now, oxygen. How do you breathe in an atmosphere where there's almost none? NASA has already demonstrated how. The MOXIE experiment on the Perseverance rover is a real breakthrough. This small device, about the size of a car battery, successfully produced oxygen directly from the Martian atmosphere, which is 95% carbon dioxide. Imagine, we can create an oxygen factory right on Mars. Astronauts won't have to bring huge supplies of air. They can produce it on site. It's not just a matter of survival, but a huge saving of resources. And what about construction? We can't haul tons of bricks and concrete from Earth. But why would we when Mars itself can be our supplier? Scientists are developing 3D printing technologies using Martian regolith, local dust and rocks. We can print entire buildings, shelters, protective structures. This allows us to build colonies autonomously, quickly, and efficiently. We won't just land. We'll start building a new home from what's already under our feet. And of course, energy. Solar panels work on Mars, but what about during dust storms or the long Martian night? The answer is nuclear power. Miniature nuclear reactors, like kilopower, can provide a constant, powerful power supply for entire bases. This means stability, independence from the vagaries of Martian weather, light, and heat in the harshest conditions. These discoveries aren't just theories. They're work. Imagine waking up in a small module. Outside the window, not the familiar trees, but the crimson desert of Mars. You're one of the first, and you realize there's no turning back. What's it like to live on a planet that isn't yours, among such desperate daredevils? You've arrived on Mars. A great achievement, but what next? You're trapped. You live in a metal can where every square foot is accounted for. Outside the window, emptiness, red, silent, hostile. Earth is now a tiny blue dot, months away. Isolation, that's the first thing that hits you. You're not just far from home. You're in another reality. Imagine seeing the same faces every day, for months, for years, under constant pressure. Every mistake can cost a life, yours or someone else's. Minor squabbles escalate into huge conflicts. Nerves are frayed. Who's in charge? Who makes the decisions when communication with Earth is interrupted for minutes, even hours? This isn't just a team. It's an experiment on the human psyche. How do you cope with homesickness, with claustrophobia, with the fact that you'll never see rain again, never smell fresh grass? Depression isn't just a bad mood, it's a real threat. Scientists are already studying how the brain reacts to such extreme conditions. How do you keep your sanity when your life is a constant challenge? And then you start building not just homes, but a society. What laws will apply on Mars? Earth laws or your own Martian laws? How do you resolve disputes? What do you do with crimes? Who will judge? This isn't just a colony, it's the seed of a new world where every decision shapes the future. What about children? Should they be born on Mars? What impact will this have on their development? It's an ethical minefield. We're not just colonizing a planet, we're changing the very essence of human existence, creating a new species that will breathe different air, see different stars, and maybe think differently. The first Martians aren't just astronauts. They're pioneers who sacrifice everything. Their home, their past. For what? For a future they may never fully see. They're a bridge between two worlds, and their journey will be full not only of technical, but also deeply human internal dramas. They will write the history not only of Mars, but of all humanity. Billions of dollars, thousands of engineers, decades of development. Colonizing Mars isn't just a government program. It's the ambition of a few people who are willing to invest everything in the Red Planet. Who are these visionaries, and what are they really building? We talked about the difficulties, the deadly dangers of Mars. It seems impossible, but who then is ready to challenge this red planet? Who isn't just dreaming, but already building the ships that will fly there? The answer is simple: visionaries. And one of them is Elon Musk. His goal sounds like pure science fiction: to make humanity an interplanetary species. Not just visit Mars, but create a self-sufficient colony there. Why? To save us from extinction, to secure the future. And he's not just talking about it, he's building. SpaceX's Starship project isn't just a rocket. It's an entire transportation system, capable of delivering hundreds of people and tons of cargo to Mars in a single flight. Imagine a huge ship that takes off, lands, refuels in orbit, and then races to Mars. The goal? Hundreds of thousands, then millions of people on the Red Planet. It sounds crazy, but Musk has already proven that his crazy ideas often become reality. He invests billions, risks everything to accelerate the process. He wants us to see a base on Mars in our lifetime. But SpaceX isn't the only player in this ambitious race. NASA, of course, isn't sitting idle. Their Artemis program aims to return to the moon, but that's just a stepping stone to Mars. They're developing new technologies, life support systems that will be critical for long-duration missions. China is also making no secret of its Martian ambitions, planning its own missions and even sample return. It's a real space race, but it's different from the one during the Cold War. Now it's a race not for prestige, but for survival, for the future. Private companies, driven by charismatic leaders and huge investments, are acting faster, bolder, sometimes riskier than government agencies. They're not just building rockets. They're building a new paradigm. They're changing the very approach to space exploration, making it more accessible, and therefore making Mars closer. It's not just a scientific project. It's a grand entrepreneurial adventure, risky, incredibly expensive, but with the potential to change humanity forever. These people are willing to go to any lengths to see the red sand of Mars turn into the foundation for a new home. They believe it's not only possible, but vital. But what's the real price of this dream? Billions of dollars burn up in the atmosphere. Human lives hang in the balance. Colonizing Mars isn't just a dream, it's a colossal risk. Is this leap into the unknown worth such sacrifices? Or is it our most expensive failure? We just admired the visionaries who are ready to challenge Mars. But every dream has a price, and the price of conquering the Red Planet is colossal. We're talking about billions, even trillions of dollars. This money could go to solving Earth's problems, fighting hunger, disease, climate change. Many rightly ask, why spend such insane sums on a distant planet when our own house is on fire? But it's not just about money. It's about human lives. The first missions, the first settlers, aren't just heroes. They're people who are taking incredible risks, high radiation, unpredictable equipment failures, the psychological pressure of isolation. The statistics will be ruthless. Not everyone will survive. Not everyone will return. These aren't just numbers. These are destinies. What if it all ends in failure? If Mars turns out to be too harsh, if the technologies fail, if all these investments, all these sacrifices are in vain, it will be the most expensive failure in human history. A failure that will discourage looking to the stars for a long time. But there's another side to the coin. What if we don't go? What if we stay on Earth, which is becoming increasingly fragile? Global catastrophes, pandemics, and asteroid impact. These aren't just movie scenarios, but real threats. If humanity remains on one planet, it risks extinction at any moment. Mars is our backup plan, our insurance. Think about the technological leap. Every space program has spurred the development of medicine, materials science, electronics. Mars will force us to invent what we don't yet know. New energy sources, new ways to grow food, new life support systems. These breakthroughs will return to Earth, improving our lives here. And of course, inspiration. Colonizing Mars isn't just a scientific project. It's the greatest adventure that can unite humanity, forcing us to look forward, not back, to overcome boundaries that seemed insurmountable. So is it worth it? It's our existential bet, the most expensive and risky project in history. But perhaps also the most important. It's our chance to not just survive, but to become a truly spacefaring civilization. Imagine we're already there, that the colony on Mars not only exists, but thrives. But what does it look like? And what will change in ourselves when we cease to be Earthlings? What I'm about to tell you may shock you. We talked about the risks, the challenges, the insane ambitions. But imagine we've already overcome them. That the colony on Mars not only exists, but thrives. What does it look like? You wake up in your living module. It's deep beneath the surface of Mars. Why there? To protect yourself from radiation and micrometeorites. Above you is a dome made of super strong material. Through it, you can see the crimson horizon, the Martian mountains. This isn't just a base. It's a city, our Martian home. Inside this city, life is bustling. The air you breathe is created right here from Martian resources. Water circulates in closed systems, being purified and returned. Food? Grown in hydroponic farms, lit by special light. It's a completely self-sufficient ecosystem, a closed world where every drop of water and every atom of oxygen counts. Children born here have never seen Earth. For them, Mars is home. They will be slightly taller, their bones denser due to the lower gravity. Their worldview will be different. They are the first true Martians, a new generation that doesn't know what a blue sky or an endless ocean is. How will this change us, Earthlings? We will become a truly interplanetary species. Our intelligence, our ingenuity will be constantly at the limit. We will be forced to work together as never before. National borders will lose meaning when you live a few miles from Earth. And most importantly, we will cease to be just Earthlings. We will become Martians. Our culture, our traditions, our identity, all this will begin to change. New songs about red sunsets will appear. New stories about brave pioneers. Perhaps even a new language, adapted to life on another planet. And who knows, maybe in a few centuries, we will begin to terraform Mars, slowly, step by step, turning it into a green planet releasing gases to create a dense atmosphere, melting the polar ice caps, adding plants that can survive in the new conditions. It won't just be colonization, it will be the creation of a new world. This is a vision of the future that no longer seems so distant. It's not just science fiction, it's our next step. So Mars awaits. This isn't just science fiction, but our next chapter. If this story resonated with you, if you want to hear the echoes of future eras with us, subscribe to Epoch Echoes. And don't forget to like this video so we know you're interested in this incredible journey.